Impressionism was a movement that took place in France during the 19th century, and it can be considered the first distinctly modern movement in painting. Artists tried to capture a split second of life by using bright and vibrant colors. They get away from the idealized forms and perfect symmetry, and they principally capture scenes of public leisure.
Oscar Claude Monet was born on November 14, 1840 in Paris, France. He enrolled in the Académie Suisse, is known as the father of Impressionism after an exhibition in 1874. During his life, he struggled with poverty and other several problems. At the age of 5 years, he moved with his family to Le Havre, which is Normandy region in where he studied and developed a love for Darwin. He was also a gardener. In the community, he became well known for his caricatures and for drawing many town's residents. After some time, Monet decided to move to Paris to pursue his art. He also served in the military, but for health reasons he spared out and continued his art career by developing his own technique. But it was not until April 1874 when the Society exhibition proved to be revolutionary for Monet by presenting his artwork, Impression Sunrise, considered for critics as just a sketch rather than finished paintings, but the terms seem fitting. He was renowned for his mastery of natural light and painted at many different times of day in an attempt to capture changing conditions realistically. He attempted to paint simple impressions or subtle hints of his subject, using very soft brushstrokes.
Monet applied his own rules, such as perspectives without depth or close-ups that were influenced by his study of Japanese plates, then popular in French art circles. In his works, Monet resorted to a dramatical tonal contrast that eliminated intermediate tones influenced by photography. The common characteristic of all Monet's Impressionist works is the attempt to capture nature as it is at every moment and instill in each painting a special sensation of nature. In order for landscapes to be visibly impressionistic, they should be painted from the beginning to the end outdoors, and should be interrupted when the effects of light change. To correctly present the effects of light implied for Monet was to paint pure colors without tonalities. In the early Impressionist works, he still uses black in shaded areas. However, he would soon discard pure black for not being a composite color. Monet traveled to London in 1870. When he met the city, London became his most frequent urban theme. His interest lays in the subtlety of the effects of light, characteristic of London. The Saint Lazare station in Paris is the only exception to its rejection of industrialization. In this painting, Monet captured the complexity and transience of the effects of reflected light on the glazed roof, billowing smoke and steam. The 80s are considered a period of crisis for Impressionism. Monet's response to the crisis was his search for more complex and natural effects in Norwegian snowy landscapes of bright, vivid colors, the French Mediterranean coast. Monet rarely introduced Japanese motifs in his paintings. Towards 1880, it is strongly influenced by Japanese landscape engravers, such as Hokusai and Hiroshige.
When comparing the artworks and styles of Monet with other Impressionist artists, we can see clearly two differences. Monet loved to paint landscapes at different hours of the day, or when painting a representation of a person with landscapes, he concentrated in landscapes rather than the person. If we see an artwork of Monet and we compare it with Monet artworks, we can see clearly this difference.
Impression Sunrise. This painting is famous for giving a name to the Impressionist movement. The subject of the painting is the harbor of Le Havre in France. It is noted for very loose brush strokes that suggest rather than define it. Monet uses color as the main factor to capture the very essence. An interesting thing about this painting is that if you make a black and white copy of it, then the sun disappears almost entirely.
Ruth Cathedral Series, 1894. This famous series captures the facade of Rome Cathedral in France at different times of the day and a year. showcasing its changes with varying light conditions. While studying these paintings, it is noted that Monet broke painting tradition and cropped the subject. Only a portion of the facade is seen on the canvas. Painting the series was a difficult task for Monet. He was, however, helped by his ability to capture the essence of the scene quickly and finish it later from memory.
Woman with a Parasol, 1875. This is one of his earlier works. It was painted at Ville d'Avray in 1875. This painting depicts Monet's first wife, Camille Dancieux, with their elder son, Jean. Camille is holding a parasol, and it seems that she's catching a glimpse of someone looking at her. In this painting, Monet paints into the light, letting the model's features fade into the shadow. The painting is early evidence of Monet focusing more on light and color as opposed to line and shape.
San Giorgio Maggiore at dusk, 1908. In an autumn of 1908, Claude Monet started this painting during a trip to Venice with his wife. The painting focuses on the church of San Giorgio Maggiore with its bell tower rising to the top of the painting. Monet emphasized capturing the moment with sunlight effects and the overall visual effect, instead of details. He uses small, thin brush strokes with an emphasis on how light changes the qualities of the subject and movement in water, using unusual visual angles.
Longchamp on the Grass. It was in Chile 1865 when Monet began to paint Longchamp on the Grass. He took inspiration from Manet's Longchamp on the Grass. It was intended to be a tribute and a challenge to Manet, whose painting was the same. This painting had a little in common, but Monet had focused on small details as the environmental light on people and objects. The leaves from the left side at the top promote a bright color that is emerging from the sun. The logs from the right side provide darker colors, which give a balance with some spots of light. Finally, the biggest section of white in the center, primarily source of light, calls the viewer attention to concentrate on the picnic and people. Terrace at Saint Adres. The corner of the garden at Montgeron. Rue Saint-Denis in Paris on national holiday. Camille, woman with green dress. Portal in Saint-Romain Tower.